Mr. Brijesh Kalappa is with us on the phone line. Mr. Kalappa, there was a loyalty vow to all of the Congress MLAs there, sir. But it seems that the latest defection wasn't entirely unexpected.
See, the BJP has been buying MLAs, and this is similarly what Mr. Kejriwal had mentioned the other day, that even in Delhi they were planning an Operation Lotus. And this has been going on in Karnataka. This Karnataka model has now been trying to be implemented throughout the country. You'll find even in Manipur this has happened, in Goa this has happened. Across the country, in one or the other pretext. Now, the next target they say is Jharkhand. So the BJP has enormous funds. So those enormous funds, like Mr. Kejriwal has recently stated, are being deployed to try to win over the MLAs from other parties so that in that way the BJP can spread its tentacles. But ultimately you must realize that this is inorganic growth. And this inorganic growth at some point in time is going to hurt the BJP itself. But they are not conscious
But what about the Congress party here, sir? Because a similar fashion what happened in 2019 when 2/3 of its assembly strength, 10 out of 15 MLAs had defected to the BJP. What does it speak of the Congress MLAs, sir?
No, I'm saying that insofar as the Congress party is concerned, it must rethink as to how it gives tickets, whom it gives tickets to. If winnability is the only issue, then the similar questions can be asked. Why don't AAP MLAs defect? AAP MLAs have not been defecting, but it's only the Congress MLAs which have been defecting. So it's time for the Congress to introspect and to think as to how they give tickets and whom they give tickets to. Obviously, they're giving tickets to the wrong people. So it's time for them to also introspect. But I'm saying that both these national parties must introspect.
All right.
BJP must introspect if this is the right way forward. Two, Congress must introspect if they are entrusting the proper people with this kind of responsibility.
Well, its identity as a political party is in danger for now in the state of Goa there, because the majority of the Congress leaders are now jumping ship and joining the BJP. That will happen officially in a short while from now. Thank you very much, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa, for joining us. Let me go across to Mr. Durgadas Kamath also with us, sir. Good morning. How do you view this current situation, sir? The pictures that are coming in of the 8 Congress MLAs meeting Dr. Pramod Sawant.
This is nothing but a betrayal of the people's mandate. You know, it's time and again that these people were trying to join since last 2 months, but probably they were not getting the numbers. But today morning, we have seen over the television saying that 8 MLAs have switched sides and they're going to merge with the ruling Bharat Jodo Party. They should be reminded that these MLAs had taken oath in front of Mahalakshmi Temple, God Mahalakshmi Panjim, Bambolim Church, and also at one of the masjids, saying that they will never betray the Congress party once they are elected. Now, I don't know, even people will keep faith in the gods now. If this is the way these MLAs have behaved, and this happened also.
But that's the point now, sir, Mr. Kamath. It seems that the Congress party is virtually finished now. I mean, it is 2/3 of them. What really happened in 2019 is being repeated in 2022. Mr. Kamath?
Congress leadership should speak about this. They should think before giving tickets. And this has happened during the inauspicious period of Pitru Paksh, and I'm sure that this is bound to fail.
Well, it is turning out to be inauspicious for the Congress party here there in the state of Goa. Mr. Kamath, thank you very much for joining in. Let me go across to Mr. Tom Vadakan is also with us on the phone line. Sir, good morning to you. It was senior leader of the Congress party, Mukul Vasnik, who was rushed to the state of Goa to firefight, sir. Doesn't seem it has worked out for the Congress party.
Well, I think this is the writing on the wall is clear for the potential leader from Kerala, Wayanad MP, who is leading Desh Ko Jodo. I think it's time he gives up his yatra and comes on to Congress Jodo Yatra. We have seen that in Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen the Congress split. And now what is happening in Goa is a clear indication of the ground reality. The problem here is they do not realize that the ground under them is slipping. Now, the alternatives are there. So people are joining hands with alternatives. And that's precisely what is happening. This has nothing to do with any attraction or any kind of that sort. This is purely ground reality. The equation of the ground, people have told them very clearly,
right.
Look, you joined this party which is delivering. And that's exactly what is happening. So
well,
to
we have been
say
getting
that this
reactions
is
from the
bad
opposition
omen,
side as well. The Aam Aadmi Party claiming that this is what the Operation Lotus is all about, which has failed in the national capital, but the BJP is trying to do that in Goa, and that is how the Congress Party is already merging with the Goa BJP in the state. Mr. Vadakan, thank you very much for joining us here on the broadcast. We continue to get more political reactions on this story. Mr. Rajagopalan is also with us. Sir, how do you view the recent developments?
The recent development in Goa is a tight slap on P. Chidambaram, who was the observer for Congress in Goa. He selected the tickets and he took oath of office on an affidavit. As previous Congress speaker said, that they went to all temples, all gurudwaras, all churches, all mosques. But what happened? Because Congress has a weak leadership and they are looking for a strong leadership like Narendra Modi. That is why the 8 MLAs are joining BJP in Goa. Apart from that, my understanding is the weak leadership of Rahul Gandhi, when he goes for Padayatra, the MLAs are going BJP Yatra. So it's going to be very interesting developments. It is nothing to do with Congress.
So can they manage to evade the anti-defection law here? Because we are talking about more than 2/3 majority. Out of 11, 8 of them are jumping ship.
It is full ayaram dayaram. When Nitish Kumar can do that, why can't Congress MLAs? Nitish Kumar also did the same thing in Bihar. He dumped BJP and he took RJDL. Why no one is talking about? Why Brijesh Karappa did not comment on that? When Nitish Kumar does it, it is sanctum sanctorum. Here, when BJP Congress MLAs do that, that is not good. Anti-defection law, how will it affect?